Disney's Adventure Stories. The Jungle Book. Heart of the Jungle. Mowgli had lived with the wolves since he was a tiny baby. He howled, scratched, and wrestled with the wolf pups. The jungle was his home. But as Mowgli grew, his wolf parents worried for his safety. The tiger, Shere Khan, had sworn to kill the boy. The tiger was afraid of man's guns and man's fire, and he feared Mowgli would grow up to be a hunter. For Mowgli's protection, the wolves thought it best for him to go to live in the man village with his own kind. One day, a friend came to the wolves' den. It was Bagheera, the panther. He was the one who had found Mowgli alone in the jungle when he was just a baby. Bagheera took Mowgli for a long walk. When night came on, Mowgli yawned. "I'm getting a little sleepy," he said. "Shouldn't we start back home?" "Mowgli, this time we're not going back," said Bagheera. "I'm taking you to the man village. Shere Khan has returned to this part of the jungle." Bagheera did not think it was safe for Mowgli to stay, but Mowgli did not care. As Bagheera drifted off to sleep in a tree, a snake named Kaa slithered through the leaves. "Go away!" Mowgli told the python, but Kaa was hungry. He looked deeply into Mowgli's eyes, hypnotizing him. Then he started to wrap his tail around the boy. Just then, Bagheera opened his eyes. "Kaa!" cried Bagheera. Startled, the snake hit his head on a branch, and Mowgli snapped out of the trance. Then the boy shoved the snake out of the tree. Mowgli laughed as Kaa skulked away with a knot in his tail. But Bagheera was troubled. "So, you can look after yourself, can you?" he said angrily to Mowgli. He was worried for the boy. Later that night, Mowgli ran away from the panther. "I can take care of myself," he thought. Luckily, Mowgli was not alone in the dangerous jungle for long. He met a friendly bear named Baloo. "Hey kid, you need help," said the bear. "And old Baloo's gonna learn you to fight like a bear." And so he did. Soon Mowgli and Baloo were laughing and playing like old friends. They ate bananas and scratched their backs. Then, floating down the river, they hummed a happy tune. Suddenly, dozens of orangutans swung down from the trees. They grabbed Mowgli and tossed him around. "Give me back my man cub!" cried Baloo. The orangutans liked to play. They dangled Mowgli by his toes and threw fruit at Baloo. "Bagheera!" roared Baloo, calling for the panther's help. But the orangutans escaped into the jungle with the man cub. They brought Mowgli to their leader, King Louie. He sat on his throne inside some ancient ruins. He promised to help Mowgli stay in the jungle if the boy would teach him how to make fire. The orangutan king swung Mowgli around the temple, and a party began. Everyone started dancing to the beat. Then a mysterious new orangutan joined the group. She really knew how to move. But as King Louie danced with her, her costume fell to the ground. It was Baloo. King Louie grabbed Mowgli and ran. Baloo and Bagheera raced after him, swinging around a column. Baloo knocked some stones loose. Grumble, rumble, crash. The ancient ruins were falling down. In the commotion, Mowgli escaped on Bagheera's back. "Ha ha ha," said Baloo when they were safe. "Man, that's what I call a swinging party." The next morning, Baloo woke Mowgli early. As they traveled through the jungle, Mowgli could tell something was wrong. "What's the matter, old Papa Bear?" asked the boy. Sadly, Baloo explained. As much as Baloo loved Mowgli, he knew he could not keep the boy safe from Shere Khan. Mowgli belonged in the Man village. "The Man village?" cried Mowgli. "You're just like old Bagheera." Feeling betrayed, Mowgli ran away again. He ran until he couldn't hear Baloo calling him anymore. Then Mowgli sat down and started to cry. A group of vultures tried to cheer him up. Then, all of a sudden, the frightened vultures flew to a high tree branch. "Run, friend, run!" the birds cried to Mowgli. Out of the jungle bounded Shere Khan. He was after Mowgli, but Baloo had caught up just in time. He grabbed the tiger by his tail. Around and around they ran. Finally, Shere Khan broke loose. He was furious. With his sharp claws bared, the tiger attacked Baloo. Nearby, thunder roared and lightning flashed. A tree burst into flame. Mowgli grabbed a burning branch and tied it to Shere Khan's tail. The mighty tiger ran away in fear, and the vultures cheered for the man cub. Later, as Mowgli hugged Baloo, they heard a strange sound. It was singing. A girl singing. Mowgli had never seen a human before. He was mesmerized. When the girl smiled at him, Mowgli went with her and followed her to the Man village. As Mowgli looked back to say goodbye, he knew Baloo and Bagheera were right. This was the way it should be. He had found his real home. But the jungle and his jungle friends would always remain in his heart. The end.